Hello, business community. Now, if you do have a company and you think about implementing an artificial intelligence system in your company, last time we asked about artificial intelligence. Do you need it? Now, today we ask about what kind of artificial intelligence system would be best for your specific case. So let's start where we left off. What kind of AI system do you need? You remember I told you have a linear data structure, you have a grid data structure, or a graph data structure, and for each of the data structures that you have in your business company, you will have a different kind of AI. Let me be more specific. Linear data, what is it? This is all the words that are right next to a word, right next to the next word that form a sentence. All the set of sentences form another set we can call a paragraph. And then you have a linear function where you have sentences, paragraphs, documents, huge documents. So you understand, if you have linear data, this is a very specific kind of data structure your artificial intelligence system will act upon. Now, what if you have grid data? Now, grid data are typical a two-dimensional data set. For example, if you have a surveillance camera, if you take photos, if you have video surveillance on your private property and your clients agree to be recorded, then you have what we call vision AI systems. So these grid systems use another kind of artificial intelligence algorithm to analyze the system, to deduct the object, to classify the object in a picture, and so on. Now, of course, there is the culmination, if you want, of a data complexity you can have in your data structure. And this is what we call a graph data structure. This is a really complex data relationship where, imagine a social network where you have a lot of users and somehow everybody is connected with almost anybody else about different edges, about different links, about different intensities. There might be a logical interlink between the nodes. The edge may have certain attributes to it. So a complex data relationship would need graph neural networks because they are specifically designed to act on graph data structures. So this was the very, very short overview over the data structure and the AI you would need. Now, AI systems. Very generally, what can we say about AI systems? Now, normally, AI systems are cloud-based. So you do not have to care about a redundancy, about what happens if you have a blackout, what happens if you have a flooding, what happens lightning strikes, what happens some stuff deletes accidentally some data. Cloud-based takes care about all of this. You can choose at least between 3 different global cloud service providers. And you know, the big one, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, and then there are a lot of really specialized cloud service provider. So you enter a cloud-based system. Now, the cloud service provider, they have some extreme hardware in the huge supercomputer center or cloud center to store your data. And notice that I distinguish here between the data storage and then the cloud service provider also on their machine have some extreme software and hardware to run code, to run the code that defines an artificial intelligence system on your data. So you clearly see you have the data layer if you want, and you have the code layer that acts on your data. And cloud service provider, they offer both systems to you for storing your data and running artificial intelligence code. So this sounds easy, no? Well, of course. And by pure coincidence, well, you know what I mean, in April 2022, you saw an official declaration of the Data Cloud Alliance. The members of the Data Cloud Alliance are almost as important, and then to see the kind of formalization, standardization of data clouds, because you want to have a very high interoperability. So you have the founding members Google Cloud, Databricks with some highly multi-cluster structure, highly parallel computer clusters, Accenture as a consultant, Confluent, Deloitte, another consultant, interesting, Elastic, Fivetran, MongoDB, Neo4j, Redis, and Starburst. So you see that quite a set of main players in the Data Cloud Alliance here are really on machine learning, deep learning, in general, artificial intelligence system. And they decided that they form an alliance, and they did it for a reason. And if we look at the declaration itself, you see to create new common industry data models. And I cannot stress this enough, industry data models. So the data, if you think data, it is so easy. No, it is within a format. It has to have a data model to be able to be accessed fast, and specifically for machine learning, for deep learning. There are some current 2022 emerging data models that are highly efficient for cloud operation. So, common industry data models, processes, and platform integrations to increase the data portability and reduce the complexity, another important part, associated with data governance and global compliance. Now, I indicated global compliance is for you as a business a significant item if you're going to apply artificial intelligence. More about this later, but it has been noticed, and the main player act on this to provide you a service that is in compliance with the data guidelines. And let me show this statement from the VP of Business Intelligence at Google Cloud. Data is the common foundation for all digital transformation. And we are talking here about business transformation. They can significantly accelerate business transformation. You say, oh, okay, but no, again, let me underline what is important here. Data is the common foundation for all digital transformation. Data can significantly accelerate business transformation. But it is not the pure data that you might think of if you are not a data scientist or a data engineer. Data in a specific format. So you see, the industry, the main cloud provider, service provider, construct alliances, define standards to comply with your business compliances, with your legal and ethical requirements. And this is quite interesting, and I want to have a little bit of a deep dive. This here is my latest video on multi-cloud solution about lakehouse architecture that follow this new data paradigm. And if you want to have a little bit further information, you will find this video in my YouTube channel. Thank you, and as always, prepare your business for artificial intelligence.